What y'all not gonna do is get on Ross Perot, good internet, and talk about my auntie Anita Baker, all right? Now, y'all can talk about Juan and Carlos King in that interview. You can talk about Juan not wanting Robyn ass no more. You can even talk about Offset and Caerdi B. But you not gonna do my auntie. Wanna talk about it? Here you go. Nessa girl, I got an attitude with y'all ass, okay? Because y'all think it's funny to upset me, all right? Everybody knows I go up for Anita Baker. Everybody knows Anita Baker can do no wrong in my book. Anything she do ain't her fault. I'm going to always defend my auntie because I just love Anita Baker that doggone much. But the people is mad, honey, because they said Anita was rude with the people down to the Houston show. And then she had an attitude, asked for security to put the people out. And see, the thing that I don't like about it is we are not going to sit here and pretend like Anita Baker has a public reputation for being mean, rude, or nasty, all right? These are all things that people heard, right? Now listen, we know about the beef that she had with Luther Vandross. We know about the tiff that she had with Cheryl Lynn. And you always hear people talk about these behind the scenes stories that they've heard about Anita Baker. And then what y'all do is, one small little incident happened, y'all want to tack it on that. Talking about, see, she got a nasty attitude. Now look, that's just me giving Anita Baker a little grace and being fair. In all honesty, do I think Anita Baker has a bit of a peculiar way of moving in these streets? Absolutely. I think she's particular. I think she's very particular. There are stories that Anita Baker has fired band members and DJs like on the spot because they can't get her sound right. But see, here's what I want some people to understand about Anita Baker and about singers like Anita Baker. One of the reasons why I love Anita Baker is that she refuses to ever sing without a band. She will not sing to no track. She's not coming out and the DJ playing the instrumental and she's singing. She's made it a career point that she will only sing with the band. She is a true musician. She cares about her craft. That is why when she's on the stage and her sound and stuff is not right, she gets it together. What do y'all want her to do? Just continue to sing? She can't hear good. Y'all want her just to continue singing? And then when she don't sound good or she mess up, y'all gonna be the first ones on social media wanting to dog her out. It's already bad enough she don't put much effort in her appearance. Be looking like she shook off her wig and just came on stage quiet as it's kept, honey. When she came down here to Hollywood, Florida and did the show at the Hard Rock, Anita didn't even put no lipstick on. Anita looked like she walked straight out of her suite, came to the stage and said, "What time this show supposed to start? Come on, girls, I can get this over and get back in bed and watch an episode of Matlock." That's what it gave, but she performed down. Now, I saw her in Las Vegas, and the show was nothing sheer of perfection. But let me break down what happened in Houston. From my understanding, from the comments and people who have DM'd me, Anita Baker, especially when it came to the people in the front, she was asking them not to record, not from the perspective of being a diva, but because those lights are distracting in her eyes. All right. A lot of y'all have never, been on stage. And granted, I have not been on stage singing, but I was just on stage last night hosting. I've been a theater kid all my life. Those things can be distracting. All right. And hold on, because I am going to make allowance for the fact that we now live in a camera phone generation. Just let me get there. When Anita was coming up singing in the 80s and in the 90s, camera phones didn't exist. There also was a certain level of decorum that audience members had. You were not there to get Instagrammable moments. You were not there to take selfies. You were there to sit down and watch what was going on the stage. And in many communities, it is viewed as disrespect if you are doing anything other than paying attention. If you're down there talking, if you're down there looking through your phone. And as a stage performer, you do sometimes notice those things when you're performing, and they can throw you off your game. Now, a seasoned performer, someone as seasoned as Anita, should be able to push through. All right. So a little grace needs to be given for the era in which Anita came up in and her expectations. Similarly, though, there is space for Anita to learn to get with the times, right? Like, no matter how much she may want to stay in the 80s and in the 90s, we simply just are not there anymore. And, unfortunately, Auntie Anita, if you're going to continue to tour, this is something that you're just going to have to learn to adjust to, because people like to record. And they like to, send the videos to their friends. It's a double-edged sword here, right? Because I'm the type of person, and I have so much respect for artists like Anita Baker, that if I was there and she got on the microphone and she said, "Please don't record me," I will put my phone down, because she just gives me older auntie teas, and I'm supposed to listen. But there are other people who, they want to cherish this moment. They want to take the video back to their friends or their coworkers or their family to look at. There are also people who feel like, child, in this big ass arena with 20,000 people in it, she ain't gonna notice little old me. But you got to understand, every single person is thinking that. And before you know it, you've got a person that's trying to entertain, and all these doggone lights are in their face. This is a lot. This is a lot when you're up there trying to perform. And it can be disorienting. Again, like I said, will Anita ever be successful in getting people not to record? Probably not. Probably in 2023. She's going to have to adjust, or she's going to have to start doing smaller venues tailored to the older crowd. Or maybe the workaround is, can you please turn your flash off if you're going to record? And maybe that's what it is. Maybe she crack a joke and say, "Listen, y'all, I know that y'all going to record my babies. I know y'all want to see Auntie perform. And I know that ain't no way around it. I just ask you one thing. Can you please turn your flash off, because it's distracting to me?" And I can assure you, more people than not will probably oblige. And with the way that the stage is lit, I am pretty sure that people will still be able to get clear videos. So don't give Anita Baker too much. She wasn't the problem. It was the people in the front who she asked not to record who caused the problem. And maybe Auntie could have did a better job of explaining why she didn't want the people to record, and things would have gone over better. Now, Anita, you came out with a tweet and was like, "People simply lie." And the way you've been moving and the way you've been tweeting is giving a slight dementia tea, but I want to save that for when we get some more concrete evidence. Moving right along, y'all have been wanting me to talk about Quad. Everybody saw last night's episode of Married to Medicine, followed by an interview that she did with Carlos King. I don't have a whole lot to say about this, because I think the Married to Medicine video I did a few days ago truly encapsulates everything that I would have to say up until this point. Obviously I knew firsthand when things happened. I knew this months ago. I knew this was coming. And in short, the girls kicked Quad out the group. They flat out told her that none of us have an emotional connection to you. And basically, there's no reason for you to be here. There's no reason for us to try to be friends with you anymore. And there's no reason for you to even try, because, listen, you've made it clear that, we ain't really your friends. We don't really mess. You don't really mess with us. And we feel the same way about you. Here is where Quad went wrong, in my opinion. Um, you gotta maintain at least two allies because, in short, there's no reason for you to be there. There's nobody for you to film with. There'll never be a scene between you and Toya alone. In real life, you and Jackie, with Jackie's 60 years old, you're 43. Not to say that 43-year-olds and 60-year-olds can't be friends, but in real life, you and Jackie would just never be sitting at the same table. Simone don't like you. She said a long time ago, this little girl thinks she's better than everybody, and she's never gotten past that. Heavenly, is your friend from time to time, but Heavenly also feels, that you used her, that she didn't hear from you after New York, and you only started coming around when you felt like your job was in jeopardy, or whatever the case may be. And listen, coming off of being iced out from the Caerdi situation, Phaedra is going to do whatever she got to do to stay in the good graces with the majority. All right. So Phaedra is not finna sit up on this platform and go to bat for you super hard when she hanging on by a wing and a prayer and barely slipped in her own damn self. So it's kind of jacked up because Quad doesn't have any allies. And so, honestly and truthfully, icing her out of the group really was not that hard. Now, the way they did it was cold-blooded. Quad, well, from my understanding, wasn't even at that trip for 24 hours before she was voted off the island and sent to go home. And we will not see Quad again until the very, 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 very last episode, which is the Met Gala. And in my opinion, the only reason she was invited to that event was so they could capture a conflict between her and Dr. G, because they wanted to see what that interaction would look like. My honest opinion. I don't know that to be a fact, but that is my opinion as to why she was invited to come back to that very last event. Now, if I know Quad the way I know Quad, the writings are beyond on the wall. Like, you've been let go. Like, it's not just the girls, it's the people in charge too. Like, this was your last episode. You started filming late, you stopped filming early. The writings are on the wall. It says that nobody's really messing with you anymore. But if I know Quad the way I know Quad, she is going to go to that reunion next month when they film it and throw a Hail Mary play. She gonna have to. She is going to have to put on a performance so Oscar-worthy that it creates a renewed interest in her being there if she's smart. She did the sister, I mean, not the sister circle. She did the interview with Carlos King. I have not watched the interview yet. I'm not in a hurry to do it because I talked to Quad last week on the phone for an hour about all of this stuff, and I'm pretty sure what's in the interview is going to be pretty much a regurgitation of what we talked about on the telephone. So whatever, I'll get around to it at some point. But there were two things I wanted to address, which was Carlos asking her, does she see how Mariah felt? And Quad saying, yeah, I see it. And I see a lot of y'all in the comments, and a lot of people are like, good for you. That's your karma. Because, a lot of people are of the belief that Quad was instrumental in getting the girls to ice Mariah out. And that's not all of it. That's what y'all saw on the TV. Y'all aren't necessarily privy to all the things that happen in the background and the things that I know. I'll say this. Quad may have looked like the physical representation of the ringleader of icing Mariah out of that group. However, each one of those ladies on that show also did not like Mariah for their own reasons, things that are Mariah's fault, and that's why they had no problem going along with it, because they didn't like her either. All right? They didn't like her either, and a lot of it was rooted in Mariah's, this is my shit, I'm the queen bee, and nobody's going to be a bigger star than me, y'all bitches work for me, I created this. Y'all wouldn't have nothing if it wasn't for me. In general, that was all the other ladies' issue with Mariah. All right. And I'm just telling y'all what I know personally without getting into the petty details. So when her and Quad had the falling out, it wasn't a hard sell to oust her out the group, because they was like, bitch, we don't like the way this bitch treating us anyway. We don't like the way she always trying to walk in here like she the queen of some shit. Who's she talking to? I'm a whole doctor. I'm this. I'm nobody's minion. You know what I'm saying? That was the lady's issue with Quad. But, some people argue that this is Quad's karma. And, she gave a very honest answer. She says, yeah, I can see, I can see how she felt. I saw the clip on the show when the Quad was in her confessional, and they kicked her out, and she was saying, what about me, and she teared up and started crying. And it was sad. I kind of felt for her, because nobody likes rejection. And even the strongest of us, nobody wants to be a part of anything where you look around and it's like, damn, everybody dislikes me. Like, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling. Does Quad have an accountability problem? Absolutely. Absolutely. She absolutely has an accountability problem. Have the ladies done things to Quad? Absolutely. I think, though, where Quad went wrong with these ladies is that in the moment while they were talking to her, they didn't want to hear, but you did something to me too. They wanted to spank her. And they wanted her to take her spanking. And they wanted her to take her spanking lying down. I think a lot of the viewers wanted to see her spanked. And they wanted her to take her spanking lying down. And I think Quad's ego and her pride just would not allow her to do it. I think that would be a lot of people's attitudes. You instantly get on the defense, and your attitude becomes, I'm not finna let no bitch make me bow down to them. You know what I'm saying? And in accepting accountability, they just wanted her to accept it without any rebuttal. Quad 100% is not innocent in all of this. I look back at the clip that they showed on the show where she said, I haven't seen, experienced real sisterhood or whatever until I met the women of Sister Circle. Listen, there's no way around it. That was a dig. It was a dig to the other ladies, and it hurt. And I'm of the belief that was Quad's intention to send that message. Now, on the Carlos King interview, she says she came around and gave the ladies to Married to Medicine some flowers as well. I wasn't at that party, so I can't confirm or deny, but I think that the ladies never let that go. And they were also happy when Sister Circle failed or went away, because Quad also did use Sister Circle as a bragging point. You know what I'm saying? And again, not excusing all of Quad's behavior, but I understand the psychology of it when you get brought into the group as the raggedy dusty girl, and that's what you're cast as, and everybody starts to treat you as the raggedy dusty girl. When you're no longer the raggedy dusty girl, you know what I'm saying? You want to let a motherfucker know. You know what I'm saying? And there's an argument that could be made that, Quad went above and beyond, rubbing her success in their faces, letting them know, showing up as the it girl. And a lot of them made it a mission, a personal mission of theirs to humble her by any means necessary. And they finally got the chance. They finally got the chance. And they're happy. So that's what happened with this Quad situation. Let's move on to Robyn and Juan. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. Can we all just agree that Juan don't like Robyn? Juan is so detached from Robyn that it's ridiculous. And I feel so bad because Robyn is doing everything in her power. She wants it to work. And I think Robyn wants it to work because Juan is all she knows. But I honestly think that if Robyn and Juan were to separate and Robyn was to just get a breath of fresh air, that she would realize her life would probably be a lot better without Juan. I have witnessed firsthand in my family people in marriages where one person just is not interested. And I've seen firsthand the damage that does to the person that is interested. It's no way to live. It's no way to live being in a situation where you're constantly trying to prove yourself or constantly trying to do something to please that person, to get them to look at you with a twinkle in their eye, to get them to look at you with lust in their eye, to get you to look at them with love and like they can't live without you. And you're just constantly doing and doing and doing. Juan did not even have the aptitude nor the patience to even deal with Robyn on that telephone call because he's just so disgusted with her. And normally, people that you love and that you are in love with, you handle them with a bit more compassion and you handle them a bit more delicately. Juan don't care about Robyn's feelings because Juan don't care about Robyn. Still cheating and carrying on. Still emotionally not present. Still could care less in the hell what she going through. But it's not until Robyn decides that it's time for her to move on, that her situation is going to get better. And that's all I got on that. Last but not least, y'all, Offset and Cardi B. Cardi, at this point, should have get off the pot. All right? Y'all clearly have an infidelity problem in y'all's marriage. All right? That video that Cardi did, it hurt me to my heart because she was crying and she revealed a lot in that interview. She said, when I'm my most vulnerable, when I'm not feeling confident about myself, when I'm you go off and do this. And let's dissect that for a minute. When a woman or a person says, I'm at my most vulnerable, I don't feel confident about myself, and then you go out and mess with somebody else, it puts you in the state of mind of why her? What does she got that I don't? And while I may not understand it in its totality, this Cardi B situation kind of helped me understand why it is that some people go out and do things like modify their bodies or act out in ways that is not natural to who they are in an effort to try to garner this other person's attention and get them to stay home. The thing that got me the most about the Cardi B thing is when her voice started cracking and she said, as much as I've helped your ass. And I would be curious to know what that help meant. I am of the belief that Offset's marriage to Cardi B definitely boosted his public profile. Before Offset got with Cardi B, it was all about Quavo. Quavo was the only name my old ass knew from the Migos. I didn't even know the other gentleman's name was Takeoff until he passed. And, you would hear Offset then and there. But Quavo was the breakout star as far as I was concerned from the Migos. Offset didn't become that dude until he linked up with Cardi B or whatever. And no shade, I feel like Diddy got with Young Miami for the same reason. And y'all may argue that he didn't need the boost in public profile, but Diddy being with Young Miami did a lot for him and a lot for his profile. But that's a whole nother video for a whole nother day. Cardi did do a lot for Offset socially. Now, when it comes to finances, I don't believe that Offset was broke or whatever the case may be. So I don't think she's talking about money, but she's definitely talking about something. But here's the thing, Cardi. If you're not gonna leave, shut up. Like Dr. Heavenly told Contessa, if you're not gonna leave, shut up. We tired of being in the group chat. And a lot of y'all talk about, some people come to social media because they just need to get it out. That's bullshit. Because in the 90s, we didn't have social media. So what did your mama do then when she needed to get it out? Social media is not a necessity when it comes to people needing to express whatever it is they need to express, because social media has not always existed. So what did celebrities do in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, the 80s and 90s? What did Diana Ross do when she was going through her stuff? There was no social media. You dealt with it with more style and grace, and it was not the public's business. And I just don't understand why these celebrities do not understand that in the midst of going through whatever storm that you're going through, y'all are adding additional storms to your present storm by putting it on social media. I would never want to look up, and my deepest personal business is fodder for the public. And if you think that celebrities are not capable of keeping their business out of social media, you a goddamn lie. In all the years that Oprah and Stedman been going together, or lying to each other, whichever you prefer, or whichever you believe, are we to believe they ain't never had no knockdown, drag out fights? Oprah ain't never showed up to work and be like, Stedman got on my nerve last night. And then bam, the tabloids ran with it. We never know none of Janet Jackson business. We know when she dating somebody in official, and we know when she break up. People business don't have to be in social media. Janet Jackson could be dating 60 men right now, having 69s with all her dancers, and we never know any of her business. Mariah Carey, we don't never know any of the ins and outs of Mariah Carey's business. I just don't understand people who run to social media. And the only thing that I can say is you're just trying to get other people to join the hate train. That's the only benefit of running to social media, is to get attention and say, look, guys, this person is the bad guy. Look at what he's doing to me. But then you end up looking stupid because you get back with him and we still over here mad. And now we talking about you and laughing at all this toxicity. You need to call Brandy Hunter and Associates and put that house up for sale and move your ass back to the Bronx and leave his ass in Atlanta. I don't want to hear no more about y'all marriage and y'all ups and downs unless there's a for sale sign in that front yard and a Penske moving truck moving your furniture up out that damn house. Until then, keep us out the damn group chat. Okay? Now that's all I got. I ain't got no more. Y'all be sure to like and subscribe if you new right here. And I'll call y'all old hoes later. Bye.